Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and today is August the 25th. I'm going to be doing your Just for Today in a meditation. You can find me at recovery or reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our Hood Recovery Services. I'm looking forward to doing the meditation with you. I had some complications through the night. And so I was a little bit slower moving around, but beyond all of that, I'm just still grateful that you're here with me and that we get an opportunity to spend some time in the morning gathering our spiritual selves, right? Okay, so today's topic on the Just for Today is the ninth step, reclaiming life. We are achieving freedom from the wreckage of our past. Basic text, page 42. When we start the ninth step, we've reached an exciting stage in our recovery. The damage done in our lives is what led many of us to seek help in the first place. Now we have a chance to clean up that wreckage, amend our past, and reclaim our lives. We spent a long time and much effort preparing for this step. When we came to NA, facing the debris of our past was probably the last thing we wanted to do. We started doing it privately with a personal inventory. Then we opened our past up to the scrutiny of a select trusted few, ourselves, our higher power, and one other person. We took a look at our shortcomings, the source of much of the chaos in our lives, and asked that all those defects of character be removed. Finally, we made the amends needed to set our wrongs right, all of them, and became willing to make them. Now, we have the opportunity to make amends, to acquire freedom from the wreckage of our past. Everything we've done so far in NA has led us here. At this point in the process of our recovery, the ninth step is exactly what we want to do. With the 12 steps and the help of our higher power, we are clearing away the rubble that for so long has stood in the way of our progress. We are gaining the freedom to live. Just for today, I will take advantage of the opportunity to reclaim my life. I will experience freedom from the wreckage of my past. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. A moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way to start out the day. Thinking about the rubble that has been in the way for so many years, and everything has brought us to today, to this morning, August 25th. Everything has brought us here. We've gone through the steps. We're in connection with someone that we trust. We know who we owe amends to. And by now, at this point, at the ninth step, we have a general idea of how we plan to make those amends. Why is it so important to not only just do it, but to know, have an ideal with your sponsor, what is going to work in regards to you making amends? Because the amends, it lets the person that we owe it to know that we're serious, right? But it also lets them know that that boundary is on our side of the street, right? That we're going to do thus and so, because this is what practically and spiritually makes sense to clean up my side of the street. Sometimes when you're making an amends, there's a tendency to ask the person, let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Or We want to know, obviously, if they have any thoughts about or need to say anything to us. But there's this tendency to go beyond what we've agreed with our sponsor to do. And I'm not saying that the sponsor has final approval how you make the amends or what, but I'm just saying this is a person that you trust and you've been doing all of these steps with. So why not ask them, what do you think about this? This is what I'm thinking would amend that situation. There's a tendency sometimes in the heat of the moment to go beyond what we ought to, right? Sometimes we extend ourselves even further into the relationship that hasn't truly healed yet, but now we're willing to put ourselves in a position that is subservient, right? Because we sometimes just don't know what to say. Sometimes we're just overwhelmed with guilt. We want to make sure they know that we want to make it right. If there's anything, just let me know how I can help you. I would caution going beyond what you agreed to do with your spouse. Okay. And the reason is because a lot of times, even though we're cleaning up our side of the street, there's another side of the street that needs to be cleaned. Every relationship is two-way, correct? So a lot of times they might even be taken aback by the fact that they might actually think they owe you an amends, right? And so we want to give time. We want to be patient and allow that work of your ninth step, right, to take root. And then as you see how it shoots up, as you see how that seed of amendment begins to shoot up and to grow, then you have a little bit more understanding of how to clear the weeds out, right? I'm talking in a way, hopefully you understand this process of planting and growing. You are putting the seed of the amend in the ground. And it's too soon, right in that moment, to know if it's going to give you fruit. It's going to personally give you fruit, right? It is going to benefit you to be burden-free. But if you go about trying to throw some other seeds in there that don't belong, you risk the chance of choking out the work that you've done. Because weeds have come up or things that you didn't intend to have planted. Now, all of a sudden, you're taking them to the grocery store and you're changing your schedule and you're running a little bit late to pick them up. And no. Let's not complicate. Let's stay on task and let's stay in the focus of the amend that we're trying to. Okay, and give it a chance to take root. But the beauty, I would say the beauty of being able to reclaim your life, I can't overstate that. And the only way you're ever going to know that is to do that work. I feel like sometimes, like when I read this middle paragraph here, they very quickly, in about maybe 6 sentences at the most, they ran us through the first all the way into the 8th step very quickly. It's very easy to try and recite the steps, but the essence of them are captured right here in this middle paragraph very quickly, right? And the thought came to me, I hope the listeners do not minimize the importance of why we even have these steps like this. Everything that you buy in the store has a manual. It has a user manual. In fact, you can buy some things that are very old and you can still go on the on the internet, and you're able to pull up the user manual for that particular year, that particular product, that serial number. You're able to actually, that model number rather, you're able to actually view the user manual. And the user manual tells you some safety things. They tell you some things to do not do, and they tell you how to get it up and running. And then they tell you about the maintenance, the things that you need to do. And if you pay attention, it even itemizes each part with a little picture and a number that tells you that this is the part. And then they give you a little section of troubleshooting in case this thing doesn't work the way that we intended it to work. Do this and do this and do this. And if when you do this, this happens, then go to this answer, change your battery, right? and if this happens when you do this, then this is the part that you need to order, or you need to call us and have us service it, right? So usually, the troubleshooting is what you can do on your own, what parts you might need to get, or you might need some service. And they always have a 1-800 number for you to call, correct? So let's talk about this, because people, they minimize why we have the 12 steps. We have the 12 steps because there was something that we were given that had a user manual. But for many of us, we didn't pay attention to the code of ethics, the things that we needed to do to live a positive and healthy life. And we picked up and we became dependent addicts. And now the ball game, that the condition of our bodies, our human life, which is the product, has changed. Is no longer operating according to the way that it was originally produced offline, right? And so we come into this world, in good condition. And then life happens and things change, and now all of a sudden it's no longer the same product that was originally produced. And we are malfunctioning. We have the disease of addiction now in our lives, and it is causing us to give error codes. It's causing us to start out on task, but not end up on task, because now there's an error, there's a malfunction. And so these 12 steps are written for those products, those lives that have come to this malfunctioning state, okay? And there's 12 of them. And if you follow these 12 troubleshooting steps, at the end of it, you're practicing these spiritual principles in all of your affairs, meaning that now you should be able to produce what you were intended to do. Am I making sense here? I know that I am. I know that I am. And I know the correlation is something that all of you can understand. Even if it's just a little cheap $10 fan that you brought from Walmart, or you brought from Family Dollar or Dollar Tree, even if it's something like that, more than likely it has a user manual. So let's not dismiss the purpose of the 12 steps. And you may go into all of the troubleshooting steps and find out that this one is a little bit more intense. I'm getting a little bit more of feedback, if you will, resistance. And so this tells me that this is something I really need to focus on. And for many of us, it's this 9th step. Many of us want the fruit of all the 12 steps, but it's this 9th step that we really, or maybe it's the 4th and 5th step that we really, really are trying to avoid. We are hoping the error code is not found within there, right? But here's the thing. If you found your way to a 12-step program, utilize the 12 steps. They're written in order for a reason. And I am living proof today with almost, how many more days? 3 days, 29 years clean. No slips, dips, or weekend trips. Not misusing any substance. It's been so long since I used. I don't even know some of the terminology that is prevalent today for using. right? I'm still calling marijuana, marijuana, and they got cannabis and all these other CBD. They got all these other terms, right, for that chemical, right? And I'm just looking at the plant, right? That people used to use what would it was orange, zigzags, right? I'm old school for real. Okay. So it's been that long for me. It may not have been, and I doubt it, it's probably not been that long for you, but maybe you've accumulated some clean time and you're still in resistance. You're still sending out error codes and you don't want to pick up the user manual for us. You remember that product called FUBU, for us, by us? Well, this right here, the NA Fellowship, was written by us for us. 12-step programs was written by us for us, right? Boo-foo, by us for us. So why not use the boo-foo? Why not use that user manual that has worked for thousands and thousands and thousands of people? Right? Why not use it? And this time, instead of aborting the process midstream, go all the way. Well, what do you have to lose? You know, I don't have anything to lose today by investigating, applying these 12 steps, the principles of them. I have absolutely nothing to lose. They have benefited my life tremendously, and I believe that they will also benefit your life. The freedom that you are seeking is something that you can absolutely find, and it's for us, right? This was written by us, and this is for us. And if you use this, and you can combine some other things. You can go get some other parts, but this works for us, and this prepares us to do what we were created to do. This prepares us to go out and do those other things that need to be done, and then take those user manuals, right? Whatever they are, and apply them to your life. If you're employed with a company now because of the fruit of having, you have a beautiful degree and you're working, there's some user manuals, there's some code of ethics, there's some rules and regulations that you have to follow now, because now you've taken this beautiful piece of production, right? And you're able to be of value in society, a productive member of society. And so there's going to be some other user manuals that you're going to have to abide by, but this will always be your number one. This will always be, I'm not talking religiously, right? So I'm not talking about the Bible is your number one, the Quran, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking secularly, something that is available to us all. And if you use it, can prop you up spiritually to be well enough to undertake these other things you dream about doing. I hope that this was benefit. I felt like I was feeding myself. This was beneficial today. And so I just want to encourage you. And I will be talking to you tomorrow.